Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Welcome to the Angry Onion Show. This is week 3 of the show, and we try to bring you just some short views, or shall I say, news and views that just stinks on most occasions. Okay? And my deepest apologies for that, but that's what the show is about. And I'm an onion, and I'm an angry onion. So, with further ado, let's take a look at what's going on week 3. A little recap of what the show is about, and we'll take it from there. All right, once again, welcome to the Angry Onion. A little bit about what the show is about for those that may have just now tuned in and weren't with us previous weeks. Our goal is to give you a short, different side of some of the unique stories from the world of news, whether it's weather, sports, or something just crazy. Most of it will stink, and I guess you'll just have to get used to that because I am an onion and I stink. If you think it stinks, you can definitely talk about it in the comments section by yourself or with others. However, remember, I'm an onion and I stink, so whatever I do is bound to stink. And as an onion, I don't have any logic to change that. If you get upset, then all I can say that you are getting upset with an onion. I don't have a brain or feelings because I am an onion. As usual, we have a onion breath stinker of the week. You can also nominate someone to be the onion breath stinker of the week. We'll talk about that a little bit later on how you can do that. Each week we'll have a unique question or topic for you to ponder and discuss. More than likely will stink also. Last week's question dealt with wearing white after Labor Day. And what's the logic for not being able to wear white after Labor Day? The prior week we talked about Aunt B. I want to know if Aunt B ever really got down with some of the guys in Mayberry and dated, or did Andy kind of keep people away? So we'll have a question to ponder a little bit later that I think may get you all a little, I shouldn't say roused up, but a difference of opinions on your preference. So with that, let's go right into our first news story of this week. So, a Florida man caught on video using wipers by hands. Community wants to help him. So in Naples, Florida, it was a sight that couldn't be missed. A man driving his car while hanging out one arm of the windows so he could wipe the rain away. Brad Allison and his girlfriend had just turned onto Bayshore Road near Becker Avenue in Naples, rather. And he stated, "As I turned onto Bayshore, I noticed this gentleman," Allison said. "It was pouring rain, and he had his arm out the window and was using his wipers. The car only had one working headlight and apparently no working windshield wipers. Uh, uh, but he was driving. That's something you got. It's one thing just to have a car sitting up there, but at least he's driving." Uh, it says the only way the driver could see was by hanging his arm from the vehicle and manually moving the wiper across the windshield. At first, I thought it was really funny, and then I also thought it was sad, said Allison. It's sad for Brad because he knows what it's like. I've been stuck with no wipers and had to use Rain-X, and I know how that is. I give him credit for trying to get to where he had to go, but I'd like to see him get there a little safer. After posting the video online and seeing an outpouring of support, Brad wants to help the man fix up his ride, but first he needs to find him. He said, "Perfect world, I'd like to see him get into a new car," Allison said. "At least get some wipers put on his car and a new headlight." The video had been seen by thousands on social media. Brad hopes the power of the internet will help this guy. It's funny how you can look at things in two different ways and go from "wow, that's hilarious" to "wow, maybe he needs a hand," said Allison. Brad's goal is to set up a GoFundMe page for the man. But first, he has to find him. So this was in Naples, Florida, and I'm pretty sure in Florida they get some pretty heavy downpours of rain, and I'm pretty sure to start off it was kind of funny. You look out there and you say, "This is crazy. This guy is using the windshield to wipe the rain off of his windshield." But another way we can look at that is that that's a very innovative gentleman. All right, I mean, he's trying to do everything to make sure he can get to where he's going, but also in a safe manner. I know things may look a little fuzzy to him with the rain and all coming up, and you can just imagine if he has a little bit of heat in the car, and now you got the windshield, the window down, and now you got your cool moisture coming in. Now you have your windows fogging up. That makes it even worse. But kudos to him for trying. And evidently he was prepared for this. That's why he was doing what he had to do. The one headlight is a little different story. You know that sometimes you can be driving and not even realize you got a headlight out. So I'm going to chalk that up to that. Maybe he didn't realize he had a headlight out. Very rarely do we all get out and check our headlights. And usually, if you got one headlight out, uh, you'll try to turn on the high beams because maybe the high beam is still working versus your normal headlight. So that's an interesting. But I will say this to Brad Allison and his girlfriend. They care. You know, if you stop and think about it, most people don't care. But they seen it and they showed some compassion and they cared. They didn't let it just go by the wayside. They cared, and not only do they care, but they really want to try to do something about it. So they're trying to turn a stinky situation into a better situation that maybe this gentleman can come out smelling like a rose. Let me know what you think about this situation. Would you have laughed? I would be quite honest with you. I probably would have started laughing myself. But then it's kind of like this. I tell people if you slip and fall in a crowd or a bunch of people around, the initial response is everybody going to laugh at you, especially if you hop right up. But if you want people to stop laughing at you, just lay down a little bit and let them think you're hurt, and then the sympathy will come to you. All right? Let me know what you think about the story in Naples, Florida. Man caught on video using wipers by hand, and the community wants to help you. All righty, let's move on to our next story here. In the world of sports, we all love a good sports story, but this one's a little unique. It says Evander Holyfield was frustrated with his TKO stoppage versus Vito Belfort. He said it was a bad call. Holyfield, one of the all-time great boxing champions. I think he's a three-time boxing champion. You know, most people may only realize him from his challenge or battles with Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson got hungry in the ring. But Holyfield was one of the great boxers. I mean, he really established himself as a great boxer. And a lot of times you hate seeing, especially as you get older, your kind of heroes or people that you watch retire or fade off. But then at the same time, there's occasions where they need to fade off and they just don't. So here we are with this story with Evander Holyfield. He's just like most of our boxers are coming back to get in the ring, maybe for a payday or maybe to relive their glory, even though they're way past their prime. And here's what we had here. So the story goes as this. Evander Holyfield thought he deserved a longer leash in his main event with bout with Vitor Belfort at the Thriller Fight Club. Holyfield, a legendary former boxing champion, competed in his first bout since 2011, so that's 10 years, on Saturday at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. He was stopped by TKO late in the first round of the contest. Belfort, who's no slouch, I mean, he's a former UFC light heavyweight title contender, came out the gate quick, as he made a career of doing. He landed an uppercut that stunned and dropped Holyfield. The 58-year-old made it back to his feet, but struggled to fully recover as Belfort continued pressure with punches. So I'm going to stop right there. So Holyfield is older than me, about a few years. I'm at that stage in my life where I don't even care if it's for money. I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm too old to be fighting, right? So even in boxing, right, there comes a time when you say, man, my mind may say one thing, but my body is not catching up with it. My mind say I got the reflexes to block, to bob and weave, to throw uppercuts, straight jabs, jab, 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 But at the same time, my body is saying, I'm not there with you. He's 58 years old. Matter of fact, that should have been criminal, unless he's fighting another 58-year-old. If he's not fighting another 58-year-old, then that should have been a crime. Okay? So it says the referee saw Holyfield couldn't fully get his bearings back and the moment, and Belfort wasn't letting up, so he stepped in and waved it off while Holyfield was still on his feet. That rubbed Holyfield the wrong way. He thought he still had more to show, which he expressed during his post-fight interview with Todd Grisham and 50 Cent. Well, in all honesty, I don't want to see anyone getting killed in the ring. Don't. There's times I've seen in battles that had nothing to do with an older contender or participant. More so, it could have been someone young, but you don't want to see anyone get seriously injured, or it's something turns permanent to them, or even death. So I have no issues with the referees using their judgment, which they're paid to do, to make the right calls that they feel. Holyfield, he said on the broadcast, I wasn't hurt. The thing is, there wasn't no shot that hurt me really bad. He's strong. He got that shot. I was off balance. Holyfield elaborated, downright slammed the referee's work. I think it was a bad call, Holyfield said. I think the referees shouldn't have stopped the fight that quick. For many observers watching Holyfield step back into the ring was both a nostalgic and concerning moment. He turns 59 next month in October and has had a problem receiving licenses dating back nearly 17 years. The Florida State Atlantic Commission approved him to step into the ring, though. See, only think about that. If he's been wanting to fight more. And whether it was Nevada, New Jersey, some of these other areas wouldn't sanction a fight for him, wouldn't even give him a license. But the Florida State Athletic Commission approved him to step back in the ring. Okay, I get that. You know, boy, it's a huge draw, the money, gimmick, but we got to make sure we protect people. And so there was no legitimate fear something true bad could have happened to Holyfield prior to stepping into the ring, and he confirmed afterwards that he felt in good physical condition. So that's the thing about it. Your mind felt that way, but your body wasn't saying that. He says, "No, I'm not hurt. I'm kind of sad. It is what it is." Yeah. But Holyfield, they were trying to protect you. I hate it, but didn't want you to get hurt. Now, one could argue that you got a right to fight, to do what you want to do. I just happen to disagree with it, but you guys let me know what you think about Mr. Evander Holyfield. All right, let's take a look at the weather. Today's weather forecast comes from Homer Hills, Wyoming, and Natrona County, Wyoming. It is part of the Casper, Wyoming Metropolitan Statistical Area. The population in the Homer Hills is 278, last at the 2010 census. The weather forecast in Homer Hills is 60 degrees and rain showers on Monday, but sunny and dry the rest of the week with an average high temperature of 75 degrees. You know? So that's in Homer Hills. Now, interesting part here. Uh, as I was looking it up, it says when you're in Homer Hills, Wyoming, you might want to pay a visit to some of the following locations: Casper, Douglas, Buffalo, Rollins, and Gillette. Gillette, rather. Now, if I'm visiting somewhere and they tell me why I'm there, I need to be visiting other places. It's probably telling me there's nothing to do there. Now, I'm pretty sure the people in Homer Hills think different, but if you go out here on TripAdvisor and all, and it's telling you to go everywhere but the place you're going, if you want to do something, it's probably not there, not the place you want to be. But Homer Hills, Wyoming, you made our weather today. You are the city, town that we selected. So kudos to you. You're not a stinker, but you just happen to be on the stinking show. All right, it's time for this week's Onion Breath Stinker. And it goes to Congressman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, better known as AOC. So let me say this from the beginning. I really like AOC. I love any young person that has a purpose or determination, whether I agree with it or not. Uh, but they believe in what they're doing. They, going to stick to their guns. They're going to go out on a limb and they're going to fight for what they believe in. And as much as young people are kind of maligned for doing that, I applaud them all on it. I really don't do politics, left, right. I could care less. It's about green. Uh, it's about green, and I can say that from uh, being in corporate America and driving things just in corporate America to being an entrepreneur and doing those things myself from an entrepreneurship standpoint. But why is she the onion breath stinker of the week? So she went to this gala, this annual gala, and it was kind of a dress up type gala, and most people had on masks, and so women may have dressed as men may have dressed as women, some kind of show like that, or gala like that. But the price tag though was some uh, $30,000 to get in, which probably tell you that most of the people there were rich. Okay, so you have to ask themselves, well, did she pay $30,000, and how did she get in there? Well, I don't know. If you're a congressman, someone may have had a table and invited you to the table, uh, but she was there, and she had this dress on that uh, she was actually modeling for one of the participants that was there. That's a designer, and it said "tax the rich." So you got all these people here, and she's going to tax the rich. That could be one of those things of like, hey, this is in your face. This is what we're going to do. Or it could be, hey, I'm just getting publicity. But you have to ask yourself, yeah, you can say tax the rich, but why not be there saying, hey, let me get you guys to help us do X? Or can we donate to X? Which I'm pretty sure some of the proceeds were donated to it. Like I said, some of this left, right, uh, rich, poor, uh, people pay taxes. The rich pay taxes. They have uh, found a way to utilize the tax code. Most of them didn't create the tax code, they're just following it. So you have to say, if you want to change the tax code, you don't do that, then do that. But the individuals themselves are not choosing to create the tax code. So, but it just sent a crazy message because as she went into the gala, she happened to walk by uh, several Black Lives Matter protesters. So one could argue, wouldn't it have made better sense to be out there with the protesters protesting than inside, as one would say, hobnobbing, and you're really becoming part of the group you're protesting? So that left a big question mark. Like I said, I really love AOC, but you have to say, that kind of stinks. That really stinks, especially if you're uh, protesters, and I'll just use Black Lives Matters as just one of many that probably have supported her. This probably just didn't make sense. So, Congresswoman, I mean AOC, you are this week's onion breath stinker. Let me know what you think. Should she be the stinker? I think she should. Your call. All right. So if you believe you have an onion breath stinker and you'd like to nominate someone, please do that. Just shoot us an email at rodtv65@gmail.com. Let us know why you're nominating that person, and we'll try to get them there. You don't have to send us a picture. You just let us know that they stink, you know. And guess what? Others may say they stink. Others may say, well, this whole process stinks. But guess what? I'm an onion, and I'm supposed to stink. All right? Okay. Let's move on. All right. So, this week's stinker question of the week is, are you old enough to remember, or did you ever take the Pepsi challenge? If so, which do you prefer? Coke or Pepsi? That's our stinker question of the week. Uh, my personal opinion, I like both soft drinks. Pepsi is sweeter. Coke, I love that burn. I remember when we had the Pepsi challenge, uh, and then we had the issue of Coke decided to change its formula. And the new Coke came out, and it was really trying to compete with Pepsi. It had a more smoother, uh, sweeter taste, but you just can't beat that Coke sting. And I remember how people protested and all, and eventually they brought the Coke original formula back, and it was up to maybe 8, 9 years ago, maybe a dozen years ago now, that the new Coke was still being sold in certain places around the country, and was finally discontinued. But when the original uh, Coke brand came back, the original formula, uh, Coke seized the market and has never looked back. So let me know your thoughts on this week's stinker question of the week. Did you take the Pepsi challenge? And if you did, what did you choose? If you haven't, which do you prefer? Coke or Pepsi? Well, once again, thank you for listening to and tuning in to the show, The Angry Onion. It stinks and it will continue to stink. But remember, I'm an onion. Ayo, I'm the angry onion, and everything that I do stinks. Thank you to The Angry Onion, which is a production of Rod TV 65, where reality meets the public. Rod TV 65 is a production of BBB2M Media.